Hey everyone, welcome to Season 1, Episode 2 of the Julie and Friends Friendly Stamping Competition. Now, for those of you who regularly watch my YouTube channel, Lauren Scraplot, my name is Lauren Urbonis, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Usually I post videos every Tuesday at noon in my Show Me How It's Done series, and this might be a surprise because it is the second Thursday in a row that I am now posting an evening video, and it's completely different than what we usually do. We have one more Thursday coming up for you in this little mini series, and I'm so excited that you're here. So whether you're coming from my fellow competitors' channels, which are the lovely Rhonda Wade and Julie Salva, or if you're coming from my channel, I welcome you, and I hope that you are excited to see what we have in store for you. So the three of us, Julie, Rhonda, and myself, have decided to up our games a little bit this week, and we are doing fun folds for our competition. So your job is to watch all three videos. Make sure to watch mine through to the end, and then go to the description on the video, and you will find links to both Rhonda and Julie's videos. So you can go and watch all three of them, and then you get to vote for the video or the card that is your favorite simply by clicking that like button. Of course, we all welcome your comments and your interactions, and we feel so tickled if you would consider liking and subscribing to our channels. But we're excited to bring you our A games this week and to show off a fun fold. Now, just in case you did not catch episode 1, I actually won last week, so thanks for all your votes, with this adorable little pop-up card. We had the theme of love and Valentine's, so I had a very romantic rabbit couple with their cabbage patch. And if you haven't seen this video, you can still catch the tutorial on my YouTube channel. So for this week, I was having so much fun with the Storybook Moments Suite. I decided to keep it going, and I have made for you a little pop-out card. This is kind of a Z fold using the suite once again. I'm going to walk you through how to create this in case you'd like to make your own. But before we start, I just want to highlight the suite and the pieces that I'm using from it. So the Storybook Moments entire suite, there's 2 bundles and 2 packs of paper and lots of embellishments all included, is in the January to April mini catalog. This was the bundle I chose. I grabbed the Storybook Friends, which really describes my childhood. I just grew up with the Beatrix Potter, and then my mom even reminded me that we had adorable little bunnykins, plates, and bowls when we had special dinners. So that's probably why this appeals to me so much. This little bundle, you can stamp all those critters, you can cut all the critters out, there's gorgeous shapes and frames. I decided to combine this suite with one other bundle in our selection, so I'll show you that in a sec. But I am going to use our sentiment and our rock wall from here, so stay tuned for that. The paper, though, is really the star of this suite, if you ask me, because it is very, very whimsical. There's very nice nostalgic pieces. You have fronts and backs of all different patterns, and some of the dies do complement a few of these critters. The other ones, of course, could just be fussy cut. It's very, very easy, I think, to use up this package of paper. One side or the other would be fun to use. I'm just going to show it to you. This is what I'm making the star of my show today. And you can decide from there what you'd like. Now, in this package of paper, too, there is 2 full sheets of these cutouts. So instead of having to stamp and die cut and color a bunch of critters, this paper pack can easily get you started. You're going to see a few of those in action later on in the video because I have a fun surprise for you. But this is a great thing to grab if perhaps you don't own the cut and emboss machine yet. You can still get a bunch of these critters without having to fussy cut them. So let's get crafting. Let me show you what you need to do if you'd like to follow along with me. Or of course, these videos never expire, so you can come back later and craft along on your own time. So the first thing we're going to need is a card base. So I chose Old Olive for my card color, and I've cut it at 4 1/4 by 11. Then I'm going to do a little bit of scoring. So we've done a score mark at 2 1/8, 4 1/4, and 5 1/2. Those are the only 3 score marks you need. I have to remove this in order to keep going with this project. And we're going to build the base of our card right now, just so that it's ready to go. So there's some funny sections in this project, but what I'm going to ask you to do is grab your adhesive of choice, some tape or seal, and put adhesive in the smallest of the rectangle sections. So you've got giant section, then small, then 2 equal sections. We want our adhesive in this small section, and then we're going to actually close our card up completely, which is very funny, but it kind of creates this mystery section that I have previously done on some cards. Now, this section is going to stay attached, so all you're going to do is fold backwards onto this next line. And that would be fun. We would have one inside section and a front kind of sneak peek. But that's not all we're doing today. See this fun fold here? I've folded up, but now I'm going to fold that piece backwards as well. That's going to give us our Z feature. So folding this backwards. You might be wondering, okay, well, that looks neat, but this actually looks a lot larger than what you have here, and you are absolutely correct. So the next thing that I'm going to need you to cut is a piece of cardstock that matches whatever you chose for your base color. And I always say, if you don't own everything I'm using, don't fret. You can grab whatever colors you have, you can grab whatever suite you want, and still learn the fold. Okay, so just match your base colors. We're going to cut this at 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And this piece is going to attach to this one that's kind of sticking up. Now you have 2 choices. I haven't added my adhesive yet, so don't stress. You can either line it up exactly to the edge of this piece, and then your fold will simply pop up like that. Or you can put adhesive on this panel and kind of center your next layer on top of it. Whatever you decide, it's kind of just a matter of picking how much of this left-hand designer paper you want to see. So we're going to attach this just so it's out of our way, once again using a flat adhesive. And I find it's easy if you just add it to your original card. I know it's kind of popping out at you, but that's all right. Our measurements on the top and bottom of this piece are the same, so you won't need to worry about centering it or leaving a border on the top and bottom. So I'm just going to set it down slightly over, making sure my top and bottom are lined up with the card, and then attaching that. And look, you made the basic feature of the card. So now you need to decorate. This is where you get to have so much fun with picking designer papers and going crazy. I'm going to save the front of the card for last. So we're going to talk about the pieces of designer paper you need to cut for the inside and for that strip on the front. But let's talk about these 3 because, surprise, surprise, they are exactly the same size. They are all 2 inches by 4 inches, and you can pick whatever design you want. I picked a white piece, though you easily could grab a 3rd designer paper because I wanted something in here for me to write a little note on. It'll simply say to and from and a little birthday greeting or thinking of you sentiment, but I've picked a white. So I've got those all. They're 2 by 4. And before I add them though to the card, I want to do a little stamping on my white piece. So I'm going to take him out of the mix and we're going to grab the adorable little stone hedge from our stamp set. Now you might want to grab a piece of scrap paper if possible, because you'll note that the stamp is actually wider than your white sheet. So I'm grabbing Crumb Cake for my ink. I thought it was a very subtle choice. And I'm just going to tap, tap, tap that to pick up some color and stamp right at the bottom of my little stone hedge. If you're feeling ambitious or you're somebody who loves watercoloring or even coloring with blends, you can go ahead and grab those later and add some shading to your stones and your bushes and everything. But I'm all for the simplistic here. I think I'm just going to leave it in the crumb cake look. And we're going to start attaching these to the inside of your card. So if you're finding it challenging to keep your card steady, just grab an extra block. That one might not be heavy enough. Grab that stone block and just hold your paper onto the table for a second here, okay? So I need to move these. So again, you can see here. And I'm going to match my sections. Got the green that's going to show at the front. I've got my stone hedge and I've got blue. And I'm going to just cover that up for now. Okay, let's start with the green. We're putting adhesive on the back, something flat. And please remember, you are welcome to use seal or glue. I'm just a double-sided tape person. So I'm going to put, I had this stamped already. That's funny. I'm going to go ahead and put my tape on the back of all three of these pieces, because I will be using them all very shortly. There we go. Okay, I found it easiest to do my green on the side here first, because it will be the most visible. I'm going to want to have a very equal border on the top, bottom, and side. And if worse comes to worse, I haven't taken any adhesive off the white. I can always trim it down if I've miscalculated something, but I want whatever's most visible to look the best, okay? So she looks pretty good. We're going to add our white in the mix here. And this one, you'll have a gap between the green and the white, but it can almost go right to that fold line. That counts as a little buffer as well. Last but not least, I'm going to move your block and sneak this blue piece in. See, the folds have a mind of their own, but they're beautiful. They're so fun. That one will have a very skinny border around it, you'll notice. And you haven't cut anything wrong. It's simply how this piece lies. This is actually only 2 1/8. And we've cut this at 2 inches, but I just wanted to make your lives easier and have equal measurements. Okay, so if it's bothering you, of course, and you're redoing this another time, you can trim this down and make it 1 7/8, and you'll have a little bit more of a border. But it's okay, it still looks great. Okay, so there's our inside. Now on the front of our card, I'm gonna just close this up for a second because I want you to be able to see what I'm talking about. We are going to put a piece of designer series paper on the left hand side here, because when your card is open, then you have a right and a left kind of frame for your front image. You're not really going to see what's on the back of this pivot point, so don't worry about adding more paper. If you have scraps and you want to, then by all means go ahead. But you're going to cut that piece 1 inch by 4 inches. Everything so far just going on flat. We don't want dimension because your card is already popping out. You can put dimension on the last and final panel. Here we go. That should just fit right into the middle. And now we're ready to get serious. Okay, so fold that one backwards. fold this one backwards, and we're gonna have a little bit of fun with some die cutting. So up till now, I've used everything that's involved in the Storybook Moments suite. I'm even going to grab myself a piece of designer series that's from that suite. But the next step is going to use a different set of dies. So your designer paper for this next step is going to be 3 inches by 4 inches. And I'm going to move my card out of the way just so you have this visual. In our online exclusives, we have been gifted this beautiful set called Everyday Arches. It's a bundle that has a great sentiment array as well as coordinating arch dies. Now, I used these arch dies a couple weeks ago on one of my weekly Show Me How It's Done videos, and I made popsicles using our fruit salad Bration designer series paper. So you can go back to my channel and watch that video. So, along with popsicles, you can also make an actual archway. You can make this all different sizes. So I could have turned this card vertically and made a really large image, but I thought the houses on this paper were very soft and small. So a smaller die is going to be the most appropriate. So if you're picking out the die that you need from this set, counting from the smallest to the largest, you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 5th smallest of the dies. That's the one you're going to pick out. And if you don't own the arch dies, you could perhaps use a square, or actually, that's a bad idea. Well, a square is not a bad idea. But what you could use is straight from the Storybook Friends. You could use this die here. It's got a nice little arch to it. You're just going to have the filigree on the top, but you'll get the same sort of image. So you can use this one here. But I wanted the arch because it's fun. Okay, so we're going to take your arch die, center it on your 3 inch by 4 inch piece of paper. And I like to tape it down just so it doesn't move and I don't end up wasting paper. If you're wondering what this stuff is, it is simply Post-it labeling tape. It's from Amazon, and I'm sure you can get it both in Canada and the US, and perhaps anywhere else you're watching from too. This guy, we're going to pretend I have rolled it through my cut and emboss machine, and wonder of wonders, this is what I've got left. I have an arch center and I have a silhouette. We're going to start with the silhouette, and this is where you get to put some dimension on your card. We're going to grab mini dimensionals and actually use the edge pieces from this set because they're nice and skinny. And we're going to put those around the perimeter of this arch scene. So we want this nice and popped out. It'll give you that dimension that you want from a natural scene. Okay, so start with your largest spaces. Make sure those corners all have something in them. And then because we are resting other things on this arch and it's kind of going to be such a focal piece, I would suggest trying to fit some more dimensionals around the unit as well. So just as much as you can, those little edge pieces, do your perimeter. So I just cut those edges. This was the mini dimensional sheet, but you can do it from the large one as well. All right, taking off all of your backings, you get to have the fun job of putting this onto your card now. What you're looking for, let me switch out, is a tiny border all the way around in green. Okay, so we've cut this piece just slightly smaller. You should have a tiny green border all the way around. Just gently press all of it down. So far, so good. Now you get to take this centerpiece and put a flat adhesive on the back because we don't want this one popped out. We want it to look like it's set further back on the scene. we're going to put adhesive on the back and then tuck it right into this spot, and it will fit perfectly because that's where it came from. So tucking it in, and then I just take my nail, or if you don't have nails, just take your pick tool and make sure your whole perimeter has been tucked. Okay, there we go. Isn't that so pretty? It's one sheet of designer series paper, but you've added so much character to it just by using a die. So I love it. So far, so great. Now to finish this up, I really wanted to use more of those adorable cutouts. So I grabbed myself my little gardener chipmunk and then my strawberries, because strawberries are near and dear to my heart. I have a very special friend who lives for them. And we're going to add these just with a couple dimensionals up to the top and the little critter down in the bottom. So you don't want your images being lopsided. And since we have two different heights of our houses at the moment, we're simply going to put dimensionals on the raised section of the arch and on this bottom raised section. If you end up putting them on the back of your critters, you'll have a very tilted image and you won't be happy at all. So I'm just putting one large dimensional. They are very strong, and that's more than enough to hold up my little strawberry cluster. And then on the bottom, I'm going to do the same. Oh, I can see that one. Tisk, tisk. There we go. Sneak you down a little bit. There, that's better. Perfect. Okay, and then on the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and put on the left, or sorry, on the right and on the bottom, and hope she's okay. So I want this down here. There we go. And there's your little chipmunk. He's so fun. I really liked the sentiment from this set that said, "Hello, friend," because I figured this was a nice card that I could give out. And I've cut myself a tiny little piece of ivory to work with that. If you're considering a different sentiment, then of course your size for your sentiment will be bigger, but mine is about 1/2 inch by 1.5 inches. That should fit. Might have been 1 3/4. Don't quote me on that one. I'm gonna go with early espresso for my ink. And this is gonna be fun because it's like a foot in front of me. At least I can see through it. There's hello, friend. We're going to tuck this one in behind our little chipmunk. So I'm just putting a dimensional on the back. And because our chipmunk doesn't have any dimensionals on their body, we're able to simply hide this right in the back here. Oh, that one got a little smudged. That's okay. All right. Last but not least, as part of this suite, and this is all I have left of them, there are beautiful antique pearls, and I thought it would just add a subtle little feature to the card if I took a couple of those and added them. Down to the bottom, I did a large and a small, and then one more small because we like to work in groups of 3 when it comes to embellishing. Voila! There is your card. So fun. And before I let you go, I'm going to show you a whole pile of cards using all the different critters. So I'll go quick. but I am doing a swap at an upcoming conference that I'm attending, and I figured it would give you guys inspiration to see a few of the different critters out there. But before I show them to you, just a reminder, please vote for my project and go to Julie and Rhonda's page to also view their cards and vote for theirs if you like those ones better. It's okay, I understand. All right, here we go. Mother Goose. I guess I don't need to open them. They're all the same. Grandma Badger. Little guy with his butterflies. Rain boots and carrots. A little field mouse. Oh, that one's the same as mine. Little bunny and a hat. Bicycling chipmunk. Chipmunk picking some acorns, getting ready for fall. Oh, that one's the same. The one that we did. There's a few doubles. Ooh, there's the baby bunny from last week. He's got his fire radish clutch now. You have decided to move. There you go. Go back. There you go. Little farmer. Fishing badger. Very fancy little weasel. I think it's a weasel. Nice sheep. There's the baby duck. And then we're back to ours. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please make sure to watch next Thursday as well, because it is our third and final edition with Rhonda and myself. Julie will be continuing this on because, of course, this is her endeavor, and she will have 2 new guests next month. But I hope that I will get to be a guest again sometime for another interaction with these lovely ladies. And I will see you guys Tuesday for my Show Me How It's Done videos, and Thursday for our third and final stamping competition. Bye.